Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm your host, Saheem the Dream.
And it's your boy, the protege, J McMahon.
J Mac Mizzle, J Mac Main, here to bring the pain. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us for another edition of Wrestling Talks and Thoughts. Tonight
Your
is
screen's kind of
on.
blacked out, brother.
You said what?
I see your screen's blacked out.
My screen is black. Well, you can't see my face?
And I can't see ya. Like
You can't.
Cena, I
You can't
can't
see me.
see you.
What do you mean? I can see my face. What? You can't see my face. Hold on a second. Let me stop the camera. Do you see my picture?
Yeah, I see your picture.
Okay. Can you see my face?
Nope. It's all black. Like
Let me stop
Kodak.
playing. What? Hold on a second. All right, can you see my face?
Nope.
Okay, can you see my face now?
Yeah, now I see you.
Okay. All right. Had to reset my camera. Ladies and gentlemen, if you guys are joining us on another edition of Wrestling Talks and Thoughts, please be sure to like our fan page and our group page on Facebook, and also join the group on Facebook. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel as we go live every week and talk about wrestling talks and thoughts. And also check us out on what radio station, Jay?
The Block 105.
The Block 105, where we are live, where you can catch us as we talk about wrestling and other hot wrestling topics. Give me 1 minute.
Is there? So how you feeling tonight? What's going on with you? What's going on? Everybody, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment to the channel. You let us know your thoughts. We got Elimination Chamber coming up on Saturday. We have SmackDown tomorrow. We don't know your thoughts. We're not here talking to us, for ourselves. We want you to get your input. We want to hear what y'all got to say. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, don't forget to like, subscribe, head to the comment section. You know what I'm saying? Fill it up. But yeah, we got a lot to talk about. A lot of predictions. Now that we're doing a show on Thursday, so we're able to incorporate Smack Raw, NXT, AEW as well. And so so we got a lot to cover, lot to indulge in. We're just gonna give you our thoughts, what we think about, how we feel and stuff like that. Give you a different perspective. Our perspective anyway. And like I said, we want to hear your thoughts. We want to hear your perspective, what y'all think, what y'all thinking about, what's on your mind.
Okay, I'm back. I'm sorry. I didn't want my camera to shut off, so I had to make sure everything was plugged in right. Sorry about that. Okay. Yes. Thank you guys. Sorry for that short delay. Yes. So, Elimination Chamber 2023. Hot topic. Sami Zayn. Is he going to win the big one? Austin Theory, will he retain his United States title? And who's going to challenge Bianca Belair for the women's championship?
Good question. Very good question.
And then we have the intergender I'm sorry, mixed gender tag match, intergender or mixed gender
Yeah,
tag match, whatever.
it's
Mixed gender is like the appropriate term, right? Tag match, Finn Balor and Rhea Ripley versus Edge and Beth Phoenix.
okay, right.
Anything else
Um,
on the card?
I think that's it. Like we said, Rhea and yeah, Rhea and Finn versus Beth, the Brit couple. Let's say.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, the two elimination chamber matches. Um, what else? What else? What else? Roman and Sammy. That might be. You know what? The crazy part about it, that might be it because if you think about it, it's like War Games. War Games had a lot of matches, but they really did. Like the Rumble didn't have a lot of matches because the Rumble was expected to go so long. Um,
Right. Like an hour. The Rumble was like an hour.
yeah, I wouldn't change each one. So I think that is it so far. I think I kind of know that we're going to get a lot of road to WrestleMania. A lot of WrestleMania storylines are going to develop because this is our last pay per view until Mania. So I guess they're gonna go. They're probably. I feel Logan Paul is gonna cost Seth his the United States Championship is gonna jet fuel their match for Mania. Um,
Hmm.
like I said, it's rumored that
Okay.
um, you know Ronda Rousey and Shayna is supposed to challenge Io and Dakota for the tag titles. But
Okay.
it's also rumored that being that they were there in Montreal, it was supposed to be Damage Control versus Becky, Lita, and Trish. Now, unless it's going to be like a last minute match, um, I mean, or they could be holding out for Mania, for a bigger spot. But
Yeah.
yeah, so I don't know. So yeah, those are the only two storylines I really get um, going into
Okay.
the chamber.
Okay. Um, so we were talking about this earlier. I don't. I'm kind of. I'm done. I'm over. Becky Lynch's character right now, and I've been over Damage Control. I feel like as a stable, they're not like working for me. They're not entertaining enough for me to watch. Um, I guess maybe other people have other opinions about it, but for me, they're not doing it for me personally. Um,
I, I feel like the problem with Damage Control, and I said it on the show a couple times, Damage Control is weak. Like they make them look so weak because
yeah,
there's no way that Becky Lynch is beating all three women from Damage Control by herself. There's no
yeah,
way Vita comes out last week and beat up Dakota Dakota and Io by herself. Like these are the women tag champs and Lita's coming and just demolishing them by herself. Like it's like, all right, you have to, these make it believable because if they're getting beat up by one person, they're not gonna look strong. And you're like, okay, well, this is the women's version of 3MB.
I mean, I have a question for you though. That's interesting take. Let's go down this road. My question is like, what's the difference between Austin beating up like the whole corporation and just about like a whole locker room full of wrestlers versus Becky Lynch beating up three women at the same time? I mean,
Well, because
Austin did it for years.
Austin's Superman. Like Austin was the kryptonite to Vince McMahon. Like he was unstoppable. And everybody loved the stunner. Like everybody wanted every night that every Monday night or even Wednesday or Thursday or Friday whenever SmackDown, SmackDown was changing. But anytime you saw wrestling, you saw Austin, you wanted to see a stunner. And like I said, Austin was built that way. But Becky, yeah, she's the man, but Bailey is decorated to as the longest reigning women's SmackDown Women's Champion. Io and Dakota are the tag teams. Like, I mean, and like I said, I understand. If when you first come out, I'm saying, everybody gets that strong. I'm saying, that strong push where you knock everybody out and you just on top for a little bit. But after a while, the numbers game is gonna catch up to you, and you're gonna be like, all right, enough.
That is true.
but it just
I
doesn't
mean,
have
that is true.
control.
I mean, so the difference is that everybody wants to see the stunner. Everybody loves Austin, and Becky Lynch doesn't have a stunner. That's the difference. The difference maker is the stunner. You need a stunner in order to beat up
I mean, she has a rock
everybody in the
bottom.
locker room at the same
She has a
time.
rock
She has a
bottom.
rock bottom. I
Yes,
mean,
you know.
shoot, she has a right. She does, which is actually like more like the book end because she lands on her knees.
Well,
So it's
yeah.
more like the book end. The rock bottom, he takes him all the way down. You know, he doesn't drop on his knees. He takes him all the way down. He doesn't rock doesn't bend his knees. She bends her knees sometimes. Like she don't take him all the way down. She don't land on her titties. She just you know, takes him halfway down. She don't want to, hurt the Becky boobs. Um
The Becky Boots.
uh the thing about Becky is that it's like her character has not been as refreshing as it was during Vince McMahon's last run, and she was very refreshing, and she brought a great character and great entertaining take on the women's division,
Mm-hmm.
being that woman who kind of just like grabbed fire and just like ran with it and had this great character. She brought it to John Cena in a great promo. Everybody loved it, and she just rode that wave. But then it's like, you gotta continuously be on the edge, and she's not on the edge like she was before. And I think she allowed that ring rust to get to her when she took the time off and then come out with something great and decided to go with that terrible, terrible, terrible character turn by beating Bianca Belair at SummerSlam for the championship about a year ago. And, like that really tarnished something that really took something away from her character because we expected her to be like more of a face. And like now is like, she's a face now, and it's with her going at odds with Bailey, and it's not entertaining at all. I don't want to see it. They were supposed to have a cage match. I was not hyped to see it at all. I was not like, I had no interest in it. I was like, you know, why? What's the reason? I understand. I don't know why they're feuding, but it's just like I don't really care. I don't even think I remember why they feuded. I think she interfered in the match or beat her up or jumped the damage control jumped her or interfered in one of her matches. I don't know. I don't even care. That's the thing. I don't care. I don't really care. I don't care what's happening in Becky's world because Becky's not doing anything to get me to tune in, to watch what she's doing. So I don't know. I just don't have any invested interest in Becky and Bailey's feud. Uh, and I understand why Bailey is not being positioned as. I mean, she had a heavyweight title matches, and she lost all of them, and so now she's out of the heavyweight title picture. The feud with Becky, so that gets her out of the picture, so that Bianca Belair can have her legit run. Her beating uh Becky, her beating Bailey, her beating everybody in the women's division, her getting her just due because she got done wrong at that SummerSlam. So she's getting a just due. But back to just what's going on with Bailey. It's like besides damage control getting beat up the whole time or whatever they feud with Becky, it's like you know I don't know. I don't feel like there's really a direction for the group. I don't really feel anything entertaining coming from the group, but nonetheless, um, let's get to Austin Theory. No, no, okay. Before we get to Austin Theory, let's talk about because the Elimination Chamber match is more than likely going to be like an hour. So let's talk about the this mixed gender match.
Okay.
Rhea Ripley and Finn Balor versus Edge and Beth Phoenix. What are your take? What is your take? Or what are your takes on them?
I knew it was gonna happen. Um, I think something. I feel damage control. Damage control. I feel it's hard to say because obviously they're gonna have to set up a match between Edge and Finn to officially end this feud at Mania. Um,
Yeah.
so I don't want to say. I think Edge and Beth wins the match, but then somehow, um, the Judgment Day kind of attacks Edge, or they kind of like become sore losers.
Mhm.
I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see two powerhouses with Rhea and Beth. Uh, it was in the fact that the Beth took a decent rip tie. You know, what I'm saying it was kind of like
Mhm.
okay, this might be a little decent match.
Yeah.
You know,
Something that came to me I didn't think about, and Sean and was it Ant mentioned it. Was it like two lives ago? He was talking about how the Bullet Club, whenever there's a new leader, they beat up the old leader, and the new leader ascends.
right?
And that's what happened with Judgment Day. Exactly what happened in Bullet Club is exactly what happened with Judgment Day. They came, Finn joined, became the new leader. They jumped Edge, they beat up Edge, kicked him out, and then they didn't necessarily say they had a leader, but they became the self-proclaimed. They're moving as a group, as a solid unit, saying like we don't have any leader, we just move as a solid group, not being controlled by a figurehead, um, which I
And
thought was interesting.
and Edge kind of planted the seed on Monday when he said, you guys don't want a leader, but looks like you guys are following Finn around. So
Yeah.
he kind of did plant a seed there.
Do you? When do you see? I mean, do you see them breaking up soon? Because I mean,
I can
I think the breakup may happen once Rhea Ripley gets the title, and they're gonna start slowly but surely start making them part ways, or start bringing some of that dissension between the group, unless they still position them to stay as a solid group and have Finn or Damian Priest contend or win a title.
I kind of feel like um, Finn may be kicked out of Judgment Day at Mania. I can see
Mhm.
him losing to Edge, and then Damian, Rhea, and ex-con Dom attacking attacking
Yeah.
Finn and kicking him out the group. And then that'll kickstart Finn's babyface run. Um, because he's been with the Judgment Day what how many months now? Like about 4 or 5 months now?
It's been longer than that. Maybe
Maybe
it's been
it's
about a year.
so yeah, so it's been a while, right? It actually has been before Vince left, and I think so yeah, so he's been with Judgment Day for a while. He's shown that he can he's a great heel, great leader. So yes, I think after that, I think at Mania, this is when the Judgment Day turns on him and kind of goes in a new direction where I guess they're gonna see if Priest can be a decent leader,
Yeah.
or or somebody may come back and take the reins of the Judgment Day.
Yeah, I don't think Priest as a leader will work.
Yeah, me neither.
I
But
think I'm I tell you, I think this is what I think may happen. Um, I think that what's going to happen is they're going to have the match. I think Edge and Beth may win, but
mhm.
what's going to happen is, which I feel like makes no sense if they do, but if they do, then whatever. But it's going to set up for Finn and Edge to finally have a final match at WrestleMania, and I think that's going to be Edge's last match. And I think in that match, they're going to have a great match, and Edge is going to retire. Finn is going to win, and Edge is going to retire because Edge this needs to be Edge's last run. Edge doesn't need to do anything else. Edge pops up once in the blue. Um, I mean, he can't. Well, not once in the blue, but he can't be as consistent as he would like to be because of his neck injury. I think what they should do is, I think this should be his, not a last match, but it should be like his, like, going away match, like, because we already know after this match here, either he's going to either have a match at WrestleMania or he's just going to disappear. for a
Oh,
long period of time.
how can we forget about Brock and Lashley at the Chamber?
And Bobby, right? Totally forgot about that match. Um, we'll get to that.
Right.
Oh God. But but yeah, I think that's what's gonna happen. I think it's gonna set up for uh Finn and Edge. But I do agree with Finn potentially either leaving the group, being kicked out, them separating. There's gonna be some kind of dissension in a group where Finn leaves, but Finn needs to leave.
I
I
agree.
think after I think after I think if they're pitching a match for Edge to go against Finn at WrestleMania, I think after WrestleMania, Finn, like once Finn has that match with Edge, I think Finn should win. That should be the catalyst to push and kind of catapult Finn in the direction of going towards a singles competitor and towards main event status, or as a singles competitor and potentially setting up for Bullet Club in WWE. Because
So,
we got AJ and Cody and Finn and a
so
good book.
so I was just thinking, like, there has to be more heel turns. And I say that because as I'm sitting here thinking, as you was talking, I'm sitting here thinking about the Raw roster, and I'm like, all right,
Mhm.
Finn. I said, okay, Finn turns babyface, and all right, so now Finn gonna be one of the lead baby faces. I'm like, okay, well, wait a minute. So on Raw as baby faces, you have Cody, AJ.
Mhm.
You would potentially have Finn. You have
Mhm.
Seth. You have
Mhm.
Lashley. Um, you really don't have no heels outside of Austin Theory. Everybody else is baby.
You don't. You don't. That's true. You don't. Austin Theory, Damage Control, um,
Women, yeah, but as far as men and singles
men.
titles, because I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I mean you have Alpha Academy, but they don't really count. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Right. Like, yeah.
But yeah, like you really don't have no real dominant, like no real heels unless Lashley, during this match with Brock, they finally bring back the Hurt Business and try to make them heel. But other than that, because even Brock's a baby
Right.
face. Like,
I mean, only other real hill they really have. I mean, hills they really have. I mean, are the Judgment Day.
and yeah, in theory, right now,
In theory, yeah. Um, I definitely agree. 100%. That is true. We don't have any real heels besides Theory and Judgment Day. And if Finn turns face after Mania, then they'll be lacking a lot of heels. Seth Rollins was never a face. I don't even think Seth Rollins is even a face. He's just popular.
he is no, he's a face. The fans cheer for him, and
The fans,
he cuts babyface promo. Oh, and the Miz is a heel, but
I mean, Brock is a heel.
do you think so?
Well, Brock is not. Brock is not really a heel. Brock is just. He's like an Austin. He's just an anti-hero. He just does whatever he wants. He beats up whoever he wants. Does whatever he wants. So Brock is neither a heel or face.
Right.
He beats up whoever he wants. That's just how he is. He don't. It doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter who he's facing. He's just gonna, you know, chew into him. Um.
Very true.
Yeah. No, but that's true. So let's talk about Brock and Bobby. Um. I think Bobby's gonna win unless they're trying to set up a potential match at WrestleMania.
I think Brock wins because Bobby won the last two.
Nah, he lost the last match.
He did.
Yeah,
You sure? Because he said I beat up
100%.
Brock and I'm done with Brock, and Brock ended up coming back. I think he beat
So,
Brock,
so the first match they had was for the world heavyweight title,
and he won.
and Bobby won.
Mm-hmm.
And then the second time they were supposed to face off, they didn't. It was supposed to be an elimination chamber, and Bobby was hurt, so Bobby was taken out of the chamber.
Mm-hmm.
Brock won the title back, and then they had a match at in Saudi Arabia, and Brock won.
Brock won that?
He won that one, yeah. And then after that, they had a match at SummerSlam. I believe not SummerSlam. I'm sorry. It was another match they had.
Right.
They had 3 matches.
I remember the one after that because Bobby won because Bobby was like, "Yo, I'm done with this Brock Lesnar thing." And so I beat him.
He didn't win. What happened? Remember when they fought? Brock put him in the. It was a short match. The match was like 5 to 10 minutes. They fought. Bobby caught him with a few spears. Brock caught him with like maybe 2, suplexes. Suplexes. He put him in the F5 or whatever, and then Bobby tried to put him in a hurt lock. He got out, like he was able to break out of it. Not break out of it, but he got out of it. And then Brock put him in a Brock lock, and he got out of it. But then Brock rolled him up in a pin, and the ref counted 1, 2, 3, and then Brock rolled out the ring. He caught him with a quick pin. Yeah, man, he didn't win the last match. He only beat Brock once.
Okay, so
So I think Bobby if Bobby loses, then maybe they're setting up for a potential match at WrestleMania. But after they fight, they need to be done with this. They need to be done. Because Brock doesn't give you enough to give you a good match. Brock is trash. He's a lazy wrestler. He's a lazy wrestler. And you could tell, and he's a lazy wrestler because every time he has a match with somebody, it's always the same BS. He doesn't want to like do more in the ring. He just wants to do his few suplexes, his F5, and he wants to, pin the person. He's not as creative as he used to be when he used to do the belly to bellies and, give you different types of slams. He'll give you the overhead press, give you a good, power slam. He'll give you a good spine buster. Brock doesn't even do spine busters, power slams, overhead presses. He don't give you none of that. He'll give you a clothesline. He'll give you a shoulder block, suplex.
Well, he's older too. So
one belly to belly. Man, listen, Rey Mysterio was like what, pushing 50? And this guy literally has more energy than most of the people in the locker room. He's still doing tilt-a-whirl DDTs and hurricanranas. Come on, son.
Well, Rey's like 5 feet tall. So, I mean,
yeah, but just because he's shorter or he's smaller doesn't still mean that. Again, like his age and his weight plays somewhat of a factor. But Brock is a person. He's in shape. Brock is in shape. Brock is like 40 something. Brock should be able. How old is Brock Lesnar? Let me check. Brock should be able. Brock has enough energy to have a 20-minute match. Come on, bro. And besides, if we're talking about like a spine buster, a clothesline, or over the head, press, he could do that. Those are like standing moves that just require him to just like, a power slam is like him standing in one position, picking him up, like him throwing him to the, give him an Irish whip, grabbing him, slamming him over. That's all the momentum coming from the opponent, coming off the ropes. Then there's the overhead press. He can do the same thing from Irish whip, spine buster. He can do the same thing from Irish whip. It all requires, him just to lift his opponent off of momentum. So,
yeah, he probably could, but at some point, he wants to be a powerhouse. Even some bumps he take, he kind of looks like for instance, prime example. So last night I was watching Dynamite, and I know Sean's gonna just cringe for this, but
okay.
I was watching Dynamite, and Billy Gunn was in a 6-man. Was it a 8-man tag? and as they went to put him in like a headlock takeover, and even him taking an elbow, he
Mhm.
was kind of stiff. Like he was just, what I'm saying, he didn't look fluent and stuff like that. And I said it to say this, like I guess the older you are, um, obviously, if you don't take care of your body, and stay in shape, a lot of things don't come natural and come, what I'm saying, normal to you. And then outside of that, Ray wrestles every week technically. Brock wrestles when he feels like it, as he's pointed out. So,
Yeah.
so Ray is more in tune to um, everyday struggle with, everyday grind, I should say. Where with Brock, it's like, all right, well, hey Brock, we need you next month. So now Brock got to train and get back in condition. Where Ray's already in condition. We're like, hey Ray, we need you next week. All right, cool.
Yeah. I mean, but still, come on, Jay. If you running at me full speed ahead, and I already know like the physical movement of putting you in a power slam,
Mm-hmm.
all the momentum is coming from you. Like all I'm doing is lifting you up. Like, come on, you a power slam, a spine buster, a over the head press. Come on, man.
Well, yeah, that's true.
Come on, Jay. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Very, very
Come
true.
on, man.
True indeed. But that's how.
What's that dude name? What's that dude from Hustle and Flow?
Oh, Terrence Howard.
Terrence Howard. Come on, man. Come on, man.
Very true.
We need that. We need we need Brock to give us some variety, man. I mean, come on, man. He need to play some 2K. Look at the move
He
list,
can
get some
definitely
ideas.
can't do none of the moves on 2K.
Like Brock is 45 years old. I just looked up his age. He's 45 years old,
Okay.
6'3". Come on, he should be able to. And again, cardio is part of the game. Like one of the things that they have to be abreast on when it comes to being a wrestler is making sure they have good cardio, making sure they can run, making sure that their body movement and their agility is where it needs to be. Greasing up those joints and making sure that they have that leanness to their body to move the way they need to move
Mm-hmm.
in the ring. And Brock is the type of guy, he strikes me as the type of dude who stays up on his cardio. Brock, I mean, come on, bro. Brock could wrestle. Brock could have a whole match for an hour without a problem. He'll get tired, he'll get sweaty, but we've seen Brock have these kind of matches, 20-minute matches, 30-minute matches, move around and do what needs to be done. But I know he's getting older, but think about it. If he's doing belly to belly suplexes, which are not easy to do, you're literally lifting somebody off. If you're lifting a person's whole body weight and tossing them backwards, that takes a lot of power and strength. So he can give us a spine buster, power slam, simple moves. But um, but anyway, um, moving forward. Uh, so what match we have? Austin Theory, Elimination Chamber.
Um, I think Theory keeps the title. I'm interested to see how a lot of guys, play a part in it because I would definitely want to see Gargano and I know Montez Ford is going to put on a good show. I'm interested to see how Bronson Reed plays in this chamber match as a powerhouse.
Yeah,
Um, because everybody else is either a high flyer or a technical.
right.
Bronson Reed's the only powerhouse, so that's gonna be real interesting. See how he equates in this match because since he's been there, he's been he hasn't really fought anybody real. He fought Dolph. He's fought Ali on this past Monday, and I forgot who I think he fought Elias in his very first match or something like that. But other than that, he hasn't really fought anybody like credible.
Yeah, yeah. I would say Dolph is the only credible person he fought.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think Sean would disagree, but
Sean definitely.
Sean would definitely disagree. Dolph Ziggler credible. But I definitely would say that he's the only credible person that he's wrestled. So yeah, and I know Triple H is going to build him right. He's gonna do right by him. What if Bronson Reed is like this extra piece that gets added to the bloodline?
Mm. That means you have to move him over to SmackDown.
Yeah,
But is Bronson Reed
but
Samoan or Hawaiian?
he's Samoan.
Okay.
Yeah, he's Samoan. Um, but I think one of the things I'm noticing about the whole take on the bloodline is that it's blood. Everybody's related. Solo is the Usos' younger brother. Roman is a cousin to Solo and the Usos. So it's
Right.
all blood. The only person that was like an official Uso, I'm sorry, officially added to the blood. Well, the only people that were added to the bloodline, as official members was Sammy and Paul.
Well, Sammy was blood too. He was
Who's related?
yeah, you saw the picture that was floating around with when Rikishi posted his kids. He's like, I'm proud of my kids. It was Jimmy, Jay, Solo, and Sammy.
Well, yeah, right. Rikishi would do that, right? That's funny. Wow. Right, because like that was the whole take on it. Like he's an honorary Us, so now he becomes his son.
Let me see if I can
Yeah.
try to find the picture. Hold on, I'm gonna try to see if I can find this in it to you. It's old, but let's see.
But I think Austin Theory. I hope he wins. I hope he continues. I hope he retains. My thing with Austin Theory though is they need to build him stronger. I think it's time to start giving him like more of a credible push. Especially coming out of the chamber. I'm tired of seeing him. I want him to beat Seth legitimately. Like I want to see him go over on Seth legitimately. I want to see him go over on superstars in this chamber legitimately. Like I think it's time for Austin Theory to really get that solid push. Like, all right, give him the solid nod. Like, let him, give him the solid pin. No cheating, because again, in the chamber you can't really cheat. There's nothing you can really do. You're locked in the chamber unless you're Triple H and you got Ric Flair sliding sledgehammers out of the cage to you. Triple H always found a way.
Right, every time.
If there was no way to do something, ask Triple H and he'll find a way. He will find a way. Yo, oh man, as a heel, that dude found every corner to get to the cheat, yo. He was the man. But with Theory, again, I think with Theory, I think that's what's going to make him different is if he finds clever ways to win in the chamber, like his cleverness and him winning is what's going to make him different as far as a heel. Because I mean, he's found a clever way to win the title. Especially how he got that pin, which is a great triple threat. That was a great triple threat match, by the way. But yeah, I want to see him retain. And if he retains, more than likely he's going to be fighting Seth at WrestleMania, which I think is going to be what they're going to do.
No,
You know,
because remember Seth is fighting
Logan Paul.
Logan. Yeah,
Hmm. So who you think Austin Theory is going to face at WrestleMania? They got to have. I know what Triple H is booking. Everybody who holds a major title is going to be fighting at WrestleMania.
of course.
So who you think Austin Theory is going to face at WrestleMania?
On Raw, um,
Because the only people that were really trying to get the title from was Seth and Bobby.
right. I kind of feel like somebody who's in this chamber. Um, I feel like if they don't have nothing for the Street Profits, I kind of see Montez Ford fighting, having a singles match at Mania.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to see who else on Raw that I can actually see.
Now, now that would be crazy to see Montez turn on Dawkins.
Either that, I mean, I can even see AJ coming back
Mm-hmm.
and fighting.
If AJ comes back to fight Theory, I do not want to see AJ win at all.
No,
At all.
I mean, yeah. If that does happen, I see AJ losing. Because they kind of want to legitimize um, Theory a little bit more.
Yeah. I don't want to see AJ win. Like, I'm like, all right, I had enough of AJ winning. Yo, AJ literally went undefeated for almost like a year.
Really?
Yeah. Like every match he fought, every singles match he fought, he damn near never lost.
Well, as the great what was his name on NXT? Um, Cassius Ono. Every time
Oh
WWE
God.
gets a new toy.
Cassius Odo.
Yeah, was that was his name?
I know who Cassius Odo is.
Was it Cassius Ono?
I know Cassius Odo. He was in NXT, man. Cassius Odo. I remember him.
Yes, yeah, he was like because he told Regal, he said every time you get a new shiny little toy in NXT, you kind of forget about who's been here, and I'm like, oh, okay. So
Uh-oh.
and AJ came in hot, extremely hot, smoking hot.
Right.
Didn't he lose to Jericho at Mania his first year?
Yeah, I believe he did.
Wait, no. Did they have a tag match? I think they had a tag match the first year. I don't remember, but I think because he debuted at Rumble,
Mhm.
and I want to say he lost. I mean, if he fought if him and Jericho had that 1-on-1 match, he lost that. I want to say
When AJ fought, like AJ when he fought like for this last year, like this whole last year,
for this whole
like
match. Yeah, okay.
yeah, like this whole last year, like most of his singles matches he's won, and if he lost, like I like most of them he won. I would say like 95% of his matches he won. If it was a tag match and they lost, he wasn't pinned.
Well, but that's more so because WWE went through a weird phase of not having matches booked. So therefore, you see a backstage segment, and you be like, you know what? I'm sick of your. Meet me in the ring tonight. Hope you got your gear, and I walk off, and then the match
Yeah.
is made. So WWE went through a weird phase of. I mean, they kind of still do, as to be seen with Cody and Baron Corbin, but it they go through a phase where they kind of like make the matches on the spot. So I guess it's more so to make it, to I guess give people reason why these people are fighting.
Yeah.
But it kind of like, but I kind of like it more like how they'll have the WWE exclusive and like how when Bronson Reed was fighting Ali, and they gave a backstory on why they're fighting. Like, where Ali was talking to Dolph, like, yeah, you had a match with Bronson Reed, you could have won. If it was me, and the Bronson Reed was like, okay, well, let's see how you can do later tonight. So something like that. Like, even though that's still kind of cliche, but
Yeah. Very cliche.
I'd rather it be like, they going back and forth on Twitter, and they're like, I'll meet you on Monday, or or something like that.
Right.
Just somebody interrupt a backstage interview, and then they're like, well, I'll see you in the ring tonight.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about the match of the night. Sami Zayn versus the head of the table. Did you watch that video I sent in the group about the storyline being about Jey Uso?
Yeah, I seen it.
Yeah. It was crazy. It was like when I seen it, I was like, wow, like this is phenomenal. Like, and it's so funny because on SmackDown last week, Sammy definitely sowed that seed. He definitely did.
He did.
And said, I acknowledge you
Yeah.
because that's what Jay and Roman were beefing about. Did Jay? Somebody posted on Facebook that Jay was the only person that beat Roman when he was contending for the head of the table. I don't remember that. I don't remember Jay ever beating Roman.
He didn't beat him. Well, according to Baron Corbin, he was the last one to pin Roman.
He probably was. but he probably cheated more than likely. He didn't
More so.
definitively beat Roman. Because Roman was barely losing. Um, he was being booked strong, but uh, this is it's so funny because don't want to ignore it, but as we seen like a week and a half ago or a week ago, Cody Rhodes had one of the most had the best promo we probably heard in years
Agreed.
with Paul Heyman. That promo on last week's Monday Night Raw was amazing. It was 10 out of 10. It was like phenomenal. I mean, it hit every chord emotionally. Like it was phenomenal. It was and inspiring at the same time. It was very it brought you some it was a story, it brought you somewhere. And anyways, Monday night comes, him and Sami Zayn are face to face, and he says to Sami, you know, he encourages Sami. He was like, I want to see you win, like believe, believe you can do it, and because I want to be able to see you at WrestleMania. And I thought that was like great. Like Cody is definitely the man. He's the person to hold those titles. But do you think that Sammy will go over on Roman?
No,
No, I don't think you would. I don't even know why I asked you that question because I know you're going to say no. I know you're going to say.
but I think the line that stuck out for me, I wouldn't say not necessarily the whole line, but when they were talking and Cody was like, when Sammy was like, I don't know, like he's on God mode. I've seen guys, stronger than me and bigger than me. They go and they end up not being able to do it. And Cody was like, yo, listen, there's distinction within the bloodline, and that's because of you. So he was like, Michael Cole said something where he said, I'm gonna finish my story, Sammy. I need you to finish your story. And I was like, wow, that was a powerful line.
Yeah, that was a powerful line. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. That was amazing. Like it was another amazing promo that was cut between Cody, with Cody. And it was just like, yo, man, like he's mastered the game, man. He's the man. Undeniably, like when we talk about, and that's what I was talking about before. When I talk about comparing Roman to the greats. Like Cody, to me, I'm gonna tell you who Cody reminds me of. Cody reminds me of another Bret Hart.
Mm, okay.
Even though it's like he reminds me of Brett. I get Brett vibes from him. You know, handle like he's not the guy who's going to joke on the mic, but but if he's like if Brett was going to like Brett going toe to toe with Sean is going to be funnier,
Right.
but Brett is still going to give you those puns that's going to make you laugh or make you still look at him as a worthy competitor. Like he's going to hold his own,
I,
hands down.
I think the
And
funny thing Cody said, because Cody don't doesn't strike me as a comedian or somebody that's funny. But I think the funny thing
right.
he said was when Judgment Day interrupted him and Dom was saying something. He was like, Dom, are you trying to scare me straight? I was like, yeah, it was a dad joke that was kind of could have went either way.
Yeah. Right. Right. It could have went either way. Definitely. But Cody's definitely proven to show himself to be that guy.
Right. Where is Ant and Sean? Because I know they would have so much to say and so much to disagree with us so much.
Right.
But
Yeah,
yeah,
I know. I
I
post a
agree.
link about
Yeah, no, I
I,
agree.
I was
But,
hoping.
but
Yeah,
But
I
yeah,
hope
I mean,
they
I,
would.
I I love Cody's work. I'm like, I'm glad that he's back. Um, and as I was telling the guys last week, it's like for a while AEW was getting all the top talent, anybody that was credible, that was young, and
Yeah.
they were going to AEW because of the direction of the company and Vince being in charge of creative.
Right.
So Cody was the first one to kind of like tilt that pot a little bit
Yeah.
and start bringing people back to WWE. I mean, and obviously Vince stepping down helped tremendously, but Cody was the first guy to say, you know what, I'm gonna go there. Like, I'm hot right now. I'm the hottest free agent. Let me go there and see what it is. Um, because I honestly I feel like if Vince was still in control, all the returns that we've seen so far, we probably wouldn't have.
True.
We wouldn't have we wouldn't have damage control for sure. Um, Karrion Cross, Scarlett, uh, Braun, all these guys probably either be doing independent, or they probably would be in AEW right now. Um,
Right.
but like I said, I'm glad that Cody's back. Um, like I mean, we all seen videos. Well, I know I was excited, and we seen the video where you were super excited, but but yeah, like I
Oh
said,
yeah.
I'm glad
Oh
he's
yeah.
back, and like I said, he's definitely one of my favorites. I can't wait for 2K to come out next month, so I can be, have the Kingdom theme song to myself.
uh, one thing I do want to touch on that you said, um, is Cody's return. Let's be honest, right?
Hmm.
Cody went to the Indies, built his name up to be a credible name, or to build up his lore as a professional wrestler, so that he could be recognized by WWE as being that main eventer that he believed he could be.
Right.
The whole reason why he did what he did in the Indies was to get the call from WWE to come back so that he can win that world title. Because when he even spoke in the ring, he said, when his mind, he thought, when he was going to development, that within 2 years he would be main eventing, and he was like, it didn't work out that way. So he even told the fans, like, my whole goal was to main event in WWE, to be a main eventer, to hold that title. So when he went to the Indies and he did what he did, and he was doing what he was doing, and all these other circuits like New Japan Pro, Ring of Honor, and NWA were giving him, and TNA were giving him the nod as being that superstar that Vince didn't see. Um, he was taking all that, he was taking all that just to he was building all that up just so he can come back. So truth be told, it's like, I understand, like, some AEW fans may feeling mad or may feeling disappointed in the fact that Cody decided to, like, go back to WWE, but that's the whole point of why he went to the Indies, to build his name up. He wasn't giving up on himself. He was betting on himself,
Right.
and betting that these other promoters would see what he's seen in himself all this whole time, and they believed it, because we believed it. We knew he was a star when he was able to pull off Stardust, and he was able to pull off the Dashing Cody Rhodes. We knew he had something, but it's something that Vince didn't see. So what Cody was able to do was, he was like, you know what, I'm gonna be the star that Vince doesn't see. I'm gonna be what I see in myself. And when he made the American Nightmare, he became that, and he promoted that, and he pushed that angle, and it worked. But what he did in the Indies was always meant for his return to WWE. It was meant for that. So truth be told, and I think he even expressed that, like, he was honest with himself to say, honestly, even though we built what we built with AEW, and I'm happy, he knows within his heart he would have never been able to be settled in his soul if he had not won a WWE championship. And it's like, it's gonna be like a glory, like this WrestleMania is gonna be like you know, you know, when Kofi won the title. It's gonna be like when Daniel Bryan won the title. It's gonna be one of those crowning moments where, like, this is the guy, like this guy deserves it more than anybody else. Like, it's gonna be one of those crowning moments, and it's gonna be a beautiful moment to watch him hold up those two titles at WrestleMania after he beats Roman.
You think he's gonna cry?
Yeah, of course he's gonna cry. Cody always cries.
Right.
He's a cancer.
Of course he is. So to piggyback to what you're saying,
Uh-huh.
I feel like I completely agree. Like, he needed to take a step back, and like you said, take a gamble on himself. because if he would still been in WWE on the main roster, um, you know, it's rolling the dice. You know, what I'm saying maybe somebody would have seen something and gave him a chance and say, okay, let's. But I don't think
Yeah.
he probably would have been looked at as more than just a mid card because he had to leave. And I mean, and the crazy thing about it, that's what happened to all of them. Drew, um,
Yeah.
you know,
Bobby.
Bobby, Gender, so they all had to leave
Yeah.
and come back to because other than that, it would have just been the mid card U.S. title, Intercontinental title champion, stuff like that. But I also feel I made a comment we were talking about earlier. Um, it's like if you got a girl that you really have feelings for,
Mm,
and what I'm saying, y'all break up or whatever the case is, but
mm,
you in your heart you still have feelings for this girl.
mm.
But then you're in another relationship with an amazing girl, great personality, everything like that. But if your heart's not there, your heart's still with your
Right.
ex. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be like, you know what, this is good, I love this, but my heart isn't here. And you know what I'm saying? So when you get back with that ex, that's when you feel fulfilled, like, all right, I'm good. This is what I wanted, this is where I want to be,
Yeah.
I'm good. So I
Yeah.
kind of think that's how it was with Cody and WWE.
No, absolutely. I totally agree. He was because and it's true because you see how every time you seen how every time he was given a character, he sold it. He sold it. He sold it heart and soul. And he's one of those guys that was able to build up something great for himself outside of WWE and be that major star that everybody's seen. And he was able to produce a great character that people he took the momentum of leaving and made something out of it, like Bobby and Drew and Bobby and Drew, like they took that momentum that they had of leaving the WWE to go to the Indies and say, you know what, I was a big star in WWE. I was an Intercontinental Champion. You know, um, I go to the Indies. They see this. I mean, they see this major star from this major promotion come over to the Indies, and they're gonna push me like a major star. They're gonna push me like a top guy because I came from a big brand, a brand that's bigger than his. But he took that momentum and said, you know what, I'm going to reinvent my character and I'm going to make myself better than I was before, and he did that. Um, what about Jay? What about Jay Uso being that person who potentially, potentially,
The Thrones Rock.
I think, yeah, I think what they may do, I think the swerve may be.
Uh-oh.
I'm looking at that picture.
Uh,
Yeah, I think the swerve may be is Jay Uso becomes that person who winds up winds up actually fighting Roman for the head of the table after Cody wins the belts. I think that's what they're gonna do.
I can see that.
I
Um,
think they're-
but I definitely think that
How big is the pit? It's not that big. That's the picture that Rikishi posted up.
yeah.
Wow, he's hilarious. Yo, it don't even look like Sabio.
But yeah, like it like I said, I lost my train of thought. I was trying to look for something. Um, but I mean, like I said, I really feel like Cody. I don't know, like so I don't know the Usos. So it was stated that because of Jimmy's DUIs that the candidate didn't want the Usos in. Well, they weren't able to go into Canada, but then I heard that everything's cleared up so they can show up in Canada.
Hmm.
Um, but then it's like I kind of feel like the Usos is gonna Jimmy's gonna snap into it, and because there's no way that Roman has to go into Mania strong, and he can't go into Mania with doubts or what I'm saying. So the bloodline have to be strong. Um, they're kind of weak now, or kind of this dissension because it has to look believable. Because if he's completely strong, Sammy doesn't stand a chance. So now being that there's like a rink in the armor, it kind
Yeah.
they give that inkling of hope. Like, wait a minute, they're not 100%. So Sammy might pull it off, but I think after Chamber, Jimmy, Jay snaps out of it, and they go back to being that strong, dominant faction for the next month or so. Um, and then we'll see if they last past Mania. But
Yeah.
I don't now. If now after now, what I can see is if Cody does take the belts from Roman, and the Usos walk out on him, Roman comes on SmackDown the following Friday, pissed, and he kind of says, it's the Usos' fault he lost, and point and blame, and I can see if if Jay fights him after that, I can see Jay winning.
Hmm.
It'll be what WrestleMania Backlash,
Yeah.
so I can see that happening.
Yeah. Because I heard that Roman wants to take some time off.
Yeah, I can see him doing it after me. I mean, holding the belt for 2 straight years. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
even though he's not there every week, but
Right. He's not. Right. So take time off. I'm like, Roman, you're not there all the time. Like, but that's what I heard. I heard he wants to take some time off. I heard he actually wants to like he wants to give it the title. That's what I heard. That was the rumor.
I believe it.
But it's definitely time. It's time. I'm like, all right, it's time for him to it's time for him to wrap this bloodline storyline up and bring it to an end. But that's how every group broke up. Every group broke up that way. Evolution broke up that way. DX broke up this way.
NWO,
You said what?
NWO, go WWE's version of NWO.
NWO. Yeah, NWO broke up that way. It's somebody in the group turns and they just, they go against the head, they go against the leader. They see them for being whatever they are, or the leader themselves. I think DX was like the only group that ever had a leader turn on their group and then a group follows the leader. It's the only group that did that.
I think so.
Yeah. Triple H, remember when Triple H was leading DX
And
and he
well,
turned on he turned on so
I think
first it was
because
China.
and I think they didn't want to kind of break them up, but they wanted Triple H to be heel. So it's funny. I believe that might have been Triple H's call. Like, hey, listen, why don't we just turn the whole group heel?
Yeah. Yeah, because he turned I'm sorry, China turned on Triple H, and then Triple H turned on X-Pac in a tag match, joined the corporation, and then after Triple H won the belt the second time. No, he won the belt the first time, and then after he lost the belt, DX joined with him, and then he beat Big Show and got the belt back. And then they came out and gave him that big celebration.
Right.
Yeah. But yeah, I think I think all groups I think that this is like the ending of the bloodline. Like, Sammy leaves, he he rebelled, he goes against the group, and then he plants that seed of the storyline not necessarily goes backwards, but it continues from where it originally started off at. And that was Jay fighting Roman for the head of the table, and Jay being acknowledged as the true head of the table,
Right.
which I think will be a great match to build for SummerSlam after Mania. That would be like perfect. That would be perfect.
Yeah, I agree.
So, where we at? We over the hour mark. All right, it's hour and 18 minutes.
All right. So I got two questions for you. So I was reading
Okay.
this article. So they're talking about a potential Housewives of Wrestling
Oh God.
reality show.
On what show?
A house so Fox and Netflix are kind of like in talks to do a Housewives of Wrestling um show. Because they say they saw what the steam from Total Divas and stuff like that. And
Mm.
Montez Ford and Bianca's getting their own reality. Well, they have their own reality show. It's supposed to debut soon.
Yeah.
So the Housewives of Wrestling. So far, the two names that are mentioned to be in this on this show is Karen. Well, I don't.
Mm.
Well, I don't know who it is, but one of them is Karen. I don't know if that's Jared's wife, but they said Randy's wife and Kurt Angle's wife. So Kurt Angle's wife and Randy's wife are so far the two of the women that's rumored to be on the Housewives of Wrestling.
They're serious about this. This is crazy.
I
They really serious, man.
guess so.
The Real Housewives of Wrestling. I'm gonna be honest with you. It sounds weird, sounds crazy, but I think that's gonna cause a lot of divorces, man.
Yeah, and now if they go back to how they like a version of Total Divas, but that's like kind of change it because I enjoy Total Divas. Being
Mhm,
able to watch the backstage stuff, the stuff
mhm.
that they don't get to see, that we don't get to see on TV, like
Yeah.
that was entertaining to me.
Uh-huh.
And of course, Jimmy and Naomi was very entertaining. So you could do, Bianca and Montez,
Mhm.
Seth and Becky.
Right.
I mean, it's a lot of different angles and stuff you can go. But just have your little cast, or they don't got to be cast. Like you could just go backstage because, like I said, we like to see the backstage stuff, the stuff we really don't get to see on regular TV.
Yeah. I mean, I enjoy Ms. and Mrs. sometimes. Like sometimes when I catch it, um,
Yeah, that's fun.
ain't it's not bad. It's good. Like Miz is very entertaining. Like, I said this once, say it twice, and I say it again. Miz has not been utilized the way he could be utilized in WWE, especially as a heel, and he definitely deserves a better WWE title reign. He could have been used so much better.
I agree.
But I digress. Um, but yeah, just to go back to what you were saying, um, yeah, like sometimes watching those backstage, watching those shows where they show like sometimes like what happens backstage after like major matches like WrestleMania, SummerSlam, and Backlash. Like when you watch some of those shows and they show like some of the divas or some of the performers like after they finish their show and they go backstage and they begin to talk about like some of their fears of the match or just some of the things that they were thinking about going into the match, some of the expectations, like what they have to do to prepare for the match or just their mindset or just seeing them be normal people before they go into character is very interesting. It is quite entertaining. Um, the reason why I said that the Real Housewives of Wrestling may cause some divorces
Hmm.
is because a lot of times, wrestlers are on the road. They're not with their families. They don't spend a lot of time with their families. And that was one of the things that Cody kind of had a problem with his father with, was the fact that he wasn't as home as much. Oh no, I'm sorry, Dusty. Dusty had the problem because Cody got more time with Dusty
Right,
than Dustin. So Dustin didn't really get as much time with Dusty as Cody did.
right.
So but having those wives there, having those conversations, because I know that's going to be a conversation. That's going to be a major conversation piece is dealing with the loneliness of being home all this time and then having your husband on the road or having your companion on the road. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, if I was what's the guy name? They're not married, but if I was Buddy Murphy, knowing
Hmm.
that Rhea Ripley's my girl and seeing her out there with them cheeks out like that, I'll be kind of a jealous guy. Like, you out there flashing them cheeks like that, and then you don't get to spank them cheeks as much as you would like to.
Um,
You kind of send you in a mood.
I mean, well, yeah, but I mean, but But you know what it is more. I guess he understands because he's more so in the business, and I'm sure like before she goes out, they're on the phone, and when she comes back from her segment, he'll probably call her or text or say mention like, hey, that was a good segment or great job, something like that. So I'm sure that they stay in constant communication. She
Yeah.
works Mondays, he works Wednesdays, so I'm sure that he's probably there in the stadium with her or in that same state before he goes
Yeah.
to wherever AEW is that Tuesday. I mean, well, he leaves. I guess he leaves Tuesday to go wherever AEW is that Wednesday. So I'm sure he's probably he may even be backstage. You never know.
He might. Yeah, he might even be. Um, the other thing is, it made sense. Like, I mean, I'm quite everybody who's a wrestling fan has seen, Paige's tapes. Um, I'm quite sure a lot of you guys have seen it. And it made sense when you watch the tapes why Paige was a little bit, a little freaky, a little freaky.
Mm.
Because I mean, she's by herself, she's single woman, you know, performing, she's on the road 24/7. She ain't got no man. And then when she get a man, it's like, she breaking loose. You know, you're young, you're making a lot of money, and you ain't got no companion. It's like, so it made sense. Like when I seen it, like the tapes, I was like, when she, it was her, Xavier Woods, and and Brad Maddox,
Allegedly.
allegedly. Nah, ain't no allegedly, nigga. Like, ain't no that shit. Ain't no allegedly, nigga. That was a. You could watch the tape. If you saying alleged, you sound like R. Kelly talking about his brother.
No,
Like, nigga, that was you, nigga.
that was his brother. He
That
confirmed.
was that. It's like, bro, your brother's bald headed. You got braids, nigga. Like, stop, stop the cat.
But that's
Like,
also
bro,
like I think the one of the seasons of Total Divas might have been the first season where JoJo had her boyfriend. She was trying to get into the business,
Mhm.
and he wasn't okay with it. Like he really was jealous. Like, oh, you're supposed to be spending time with me and stuff
Mhm.
like that. And typically, that's a female's trait, but he was just like, nah, like he ended up breaking up with her. I know Bray Wyatt, is happy because of that,
Mm.
but yeah, like he's bugging. Like he literally broke up with her because she wanted to pursue her dream, and look at her now.
Yeah, but the thing about it is that the truth of the matter is that pursuing your dream is not a problem. It's the fact that one who pursues their dream has to keep in mind that it comes with sacrifice.
Agree.
I was watching a TV show called The Morning Show on Apple Network, and it's about, it's really about Matt Lauer, who used to be on the morning show on Channel 4, and how he had the whole, sex scandal, come against him during the whole while the Me Too movement when it was in its like full steam, and he lost his job. But the morning show kind of gives you an idea of just a little bit about what he potentially went through backstage. But anyway, in long story short, there's a news anchor played by the girl who played on Friends. Everybody knows her. But anyway, long story short, she's a news anchor. She has to wake up um like three in the morning or 4 in the morning to get ready for work every morning, just to be at the state, just to be at the she has to wake up like 3 in the morning or 4 in the morning just to be at the station at like I think 3 or 4, something like that. Anyway, she has to wake up very early in the morning to be at the station just so she can start the morning show at around 5 o'clock, have a makeup, coffee, whatever. She does this every day, and she leaves the network or leave the station like around maybe 11 to 12 or something like that after she finishes the morning show, whatever. And after she leaves the show, she has meetings. She has to do different appearances and stuff like that. But in the show, just to get to my point, in the show, it just goes to show like a person who has that type of job doing like a morning show or being a news anchor, how their time is how their time is constantly being occupied.
Right.
Like they don't really get as much time as the average Joe working 9 to 5. A CEO, even a CEO of a company, usually CEOs sometimes work harder than the person they employ. Most times they're working 10 hours and 12-hour shifts, because after they work their 8-hour shift, they sometimes have to go over documentation at work, or they have meetings to go to after they do their 8-hour shift or their 9-hour shift. They got to go to a meeting, so they're still on the clock. Go to meetings at night and stuff like that. So it's like the higher up you are, or the more you're getting paid for a job, the more your time is being utilized, because that 100 grand that you're being paid a year, or that 250,000, or that 300,000, or however much you're getting paid, they're gonna want to squeeze as much time out of you to get that compensation as possible. And that's how it is being a wrestler. You're getting paid $1 million, 1.5, you're getting paid, 500,000. They're gonna want all your time. And that comes with sacrificing. You may not get as much time with your family or companion as you would like to.
Right. It's true. I mean, and like I said, it's not for the weakened soul. I'm saying that what a weakened heart. Like if you like I said, if you're the type of person that you require time, or
Yeah.
what I'm saying, like you, I mean, like I said, I mean, yeah, I guess you kind of adapt to their schedule, because at the same time, if they're on the road, they got to do this, this, that, and the other. I'm telling you, like, hey, babe, if especially if you don't have kids, anything like that, like, hey, I'm free. Can I come with you? And I'm sure, what I'm saying, if it's a situation, they wouldn't have a problem with it. So it's just about communication for me, like, what I'm saying.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. But yeah, that does it for our show, ladies and gentlemen. Close to the we are not close to the 2 hour mark, but we're 30 minutes from the 2 hour mark, but it's been an hour. Again, we thank you guys for joining us for another edition of Wrestling Talks and Thoughts. You guys can catch us as we go live every week on our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you go to our Facebook page, like the group, and become a part of the group, and post your comments, uh, post your pictures, start some conversations in the group so we can talk. If you guys are catching this alive later on, well, more than likely you're catching it because we're ending it now, but you guys are catching this live later. Drop your comments in the comment section below. We want to know what you guys feel about the Elimination Chamber. What are your predictions? What do you guys think? And also, you guys can catch us on the Block 105, the radio station, as we go live. It's every Friday, right? Well, not live every Friday, but you can catch the show on
Fridays
every
at
Friday
4 p.m.
at 4 p.m. Yes. Signing off, I'm your host, Saheem the Dream.
It's your boy, the protege, J Mac Main.
And we will see you guys later. Peace.